I'm Matt Smith with Clay Target Legends, and I want to tell you the year was 1962. John Glenn was orbiting the Earth. The Cuban Missile Crisis was in swing, and plus we had the great Frank Sinatra playing for us. But Charlotte Williams released a very rare 45 over frustration about a trap shoot. We want to remind you, you can find this recording at the ATA Museum in Sparta, Illinois, or you can listen to it right now along with some fantastic vintage footage of that time frame.
I'm a trap shooter's woman, and as sure as you're born, I'm sitting here lonesome, blue and forlorn, while he goes off each weekend to the gun club. He hums to himself as he packs up his gear, then gives me a friendly little pat on the rear and says, "I won't be long." Well, I've heard that, bub. "I'll be back in a couple of hours, I guess," says he, leaving things in a heck of a mess. But if I know him, it'll be long after dark. I concentrate on the fix I'm in and contemplate using that rolling pin to see how good I am at hitting my mark. There's equipment all over my guest room bunk, and most of my closets are loaded with junk. He's moved my dresses and suits, but he needs one more. Gee, thanks for the space. What a line he's pitching. There's a reloader sitting in the corner of the kitchen and little old shots rolling around all over the floor. On the counter where I used to put vases of floxes now stand great piles of empty shell boxes plus cartons of shell cases waiting to be deprimed. He's got red ones, blue ones, and brass-rimmed green like cigarettes marching on a TV screen in little short rows that are neatly assembly lined. There are bags of shot, and I'm not joking. I put up a sign which says no smoking when I saw that big round tin of real gunpowder. Little white plastic wads abound, but the kids are not shocked to see them around and have now quit asking, "What's this in my chowder?" It used to be a weekend day meant leisure, but now the spouse about has a seizure if he thinks he won't be first up on the trap line. He gobbles his food without knowing what he's eating and leaves with the fervor of a gospel tent meeting, and I think to myself, I'm just a sap to pine. Well, one fine day I had the surprise of my life. He said, "I don't want to go without taking my wife. A chick shouldn't play second fiddle to a clay pig. You come too in your shorts or your slacks. There's a place at the club where you can get snacks, and you and the other guys' wives can even play bridge." So I went along, but not to play cards. I was just going to give the girls my regards and see if I could tell what it was with a trap field. Some fella yelled like a fiend, squad one, and 4 or 5 hombres picked up a gun, and one guy cursed and spit when some kid squealed. They went to their post like a nag at a race and stood like a sentry on guard someplace, and when they wanted a bird, they just yelled pull. I didn't hear any boos or hisses, although I saw some indisputable misses. If that had been showbiz, they'd have got the bird and the bull. They took their places on some concrete spokes and threatened one another not to make with the jokes and tried their best to ignore the leadoff man. Because if he missed the first bird, they might too, and they weren't playing follow the leader, you knew, and they sure weren't out there just to get a suntan. Somebody said, let's see one. Now, that set me to wondering just how, if he couldn't even see one, how he could shoot in range. But no one called it a state of stupor. If anyone called what he saw a blooper, and when they just got going, some joker said change. A few stood close, and it didn't seem fair to have so much grass for some, but the rules declare, says ATA, whoever he is, it's dandy. Thin as a rail or fat with lardage, they still had to shoot according to yardage, and the handicap wasn't just having a cap handy. I noticed that the guys who made the most racket had loud colored patches all over their jacket, and some had little old bags strapped around their waist. It looked like a bag to carry food for a goose, or something intended for a pygmy papoose, but among the shooters it seemed to be good taste. The referee said a dead bird was a teaser. All those dead birds and nothing for the freezer. Looks like a sport without any profit to me. If anybody flinched, releasing his trigger, his score on the board wouldn't be any bigger, and they posted it right out front for all to see. Back home, I learned I'd have no vacation, with him running around all over the nation, from the club to the state, and then to the region or zone. While he's booking himself to meet his foe, I'm supposed to sit around and watch the Late Late Show and say so long, good luck, in a wifely tone. This year he's going to the Grand, by golly, he's going to camp out. Me too, that's jolly, I'll see those guys and dolls of trap and field fame. A 10-gallon hat on a western Dan, and a black-shirted hood who's a Tennessee man, and boots and diamonds on that pumpkin dame. I'd sure like to meet that Mr. Ford with a purse the shooters would like to hoard, and see Mr. Lewis, it's rumored he's really got class. See who clicks shutters for Betty Ann, and know who's this year's high gun man, and meet the champ of champions, lad and lass. Well, you look at the prizes, the way they list them, and bet your dough Phil Miller's system, while grandstand spectators buzz like bees in hives. While Uncle Joe Hastings form you delve, go stand out there and shoot your 12. I'll sit here and sell these musical 45.